Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. So I have been quite anxious to make a video for quite some time. By anxious I mean in a bad way, and I didn't really want to see myself on camera anymore, and I just was feeling really bad about myself, and I'm just like, you know what, if I'm going to change this I actually have to just jump in and do it. So here we are. The most commonly asked questions I always get is, are you still taking the medication you're on? Yeah, completely. I'm still taking 25 milligrams of atomoxetine and it's still going really well. So the past week I've been ill. I've had a really bad cold. It was a really strange cold that I'm sure you're not really that interested in, but it wasn't COVID. It was just like a cough, and then it developed into a full-blown cold, and I felt really bad this weekend. And I have the week off work now, which thank God, because otherwise I'd be taking some days off of sick. But yeah, I have not been feeling my best self, and I've just kind of, you know, got dressed today and I've opened the window and trying to do a little bit more today. But even with having like POTS as well, it can make it even more difficult when you have a cold, because I can get breathless quite easily when I'm moving around. Anyway, so that's where I'm kind of at. I wanted to make a video today about the importance of letting your ADHD run wild, even if you're on medication. So this is something that I thought, you know, like happened to me quite a bit. Like in the past, before I was taking ADHD medication, I would really like to just do whatever I felt like in the moment, let my mind run free, be creative, and not be constantly trying to fight against it. And I think that's really the key element here, is the fighting against your own mind, because of the system, because of society, because of our families or the people we know. It can kind of feel like you are having to fight against your own brain just to get by in life, just to be accepted, just to have a job and work and earn money and survive. And that is really difficult thing. But what that also does is, if we are the sort of person who's going to do that, because I don't think everybody with ADHD necessarily would do that. I think it depends on your own values, your own upbringing and that kind of thing. So growing up with ADHD, you may feel that you're quite a sensitive person. You may have emotional outbursts or share stronger emotions that other people just don't seem to have. And sometimes your family can be very accepting of that, and the people around you, sometimes they might feel that it's too much, that you're acting out, and all of this sort of stuff. And if it's the latter, that can cause a lot of trauma within you. And what it can actually do is you end up suppressing yourself quite a lot. You end up hiding your emotions, you end up not talking to anybody about your emotions, you keep everything within, and that can cause a lot of frustration. And you know, that's, I mean, I could really get into that, but that can be really damaging to somebody. And for me, it did create a lot of frustration, a lot of shame, and it just made it even harder for me to deal with my emotions. And I already had emotional dysregulation as part of ADHD as well, so I found that really difficult. And then when I was sort of like a late teen, early 20s, that's when I really used to start to feel like a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and that kind of thing, and I had to work through that quite a lot. But ultimately what it did is it encouraged me even more to hide who I was, to hide my emotions, not be authentically myself. My mind was not free, and I needed to find that freedom somehow. And so I used to do that in my free time. I used to isolate myself quite a lot. I used to spend a lot of time alone. You know, that's when I started making YouTube videos as well, and really being able to express my creativity, give myself a voice for the first time. What it felt like was the first time in my entire life. And so I did that. And I would just let my mind do what it needed to do. And then I would return back to work, I would return back to reality. And I would have to be within this structure that felt like a prison to me. And like, honestly, that's exactly how it felt, and that's exactly why, like, even more, like, the frustration within me was starting to build even more. And I ended up just not even liking myself, hating the system I was living in, being so irritated by most people, and just, like I say, just isolating myself from everybody, because I had to let my mind run free at some stage. I had to allow my ADHD to be in order to keep some kind of resemblance, like some kind of sanity, basically. So even now when I take medication and I feel like I fit into that system, that structure, society so much better, I still feel like I need that free ADHD mind time. So the sort of things that I do is I just allow myself to have unstructured time, like every single day. That's really, really important to me. And I mean, not everybody, I don't want to say like everybody should be doing this who's got ADHD. Like, if you resonate with this, then it probably applies to you. If it doesn't, then you've probably got a different personality, you know. So yeah, chilling out to music. So I have a playlist of songs that I find to be more I want to say thrilling to my ADHD. So they really like are really upbeat songs, or heavy songs, or songs that really have like a really fast pace to them, that really keep my mind feeling good and give me that dopamine hit. One thing that I did quite a while ago, and it's not something that I do very regularly at all, is travel with no expectations and no destination. Sometimes this can end up really badly because you can't find anywhere to go. So the best thing that I found was when I've been to London alone, just jumping from tube to tube, just going, okay, I'm gonna get off here, I'm gonna get off here, and just kind of like seeing where you are and just like exploring that area. And I really enjoyed that. But also just exploring in general really does something for the ADHD mind, I think. And I think that's kind of coupled with the whole creativity, like doing things that are creative with no plan, can really like feel very natural to us, but also feel quite exciting and keep us curious and entertained, I guess, and feel that feeling of like there's no set structure here. I think definitely we do need some kind of structure though, otherwise I think things will go badly very quickly. So I think, I hate saying this, but getting the right balance is probably quite appropriate. So the lifestyle that I craved, especially before taking ADHD medication, was a very creative life. It was a very relaxed, very little responsibility, just doing what I felt like. So I feel that even now I need to do this on some level. Society feels too rigid, too structured, too many expectations. I want to be laid back. I want to have fun. I want to have freedom. I want to be connected with nature and my own nature as well, and to be authentically myself, but also have that kind of balance of feeling accepted by people, and RSD kind of comes into this a little bit as well, because I've only really liked being around people who are non-judgmental towards me. If someone becomes quite judgmental, but I don't mean just like in a banter way or just having a bit of fun and I'm kind of in on it, I mean those kind of people who are just do it in a nasty way or a very passive aggressive way. And for the people who do this, I tend to find that I am either very, very, very quiet around them and I just don't want to engage with them at all. I feel like anything I might say might be taken against me. And even if it's not, I feel that that is what they're thinking or feeling inside themselves. And so that's the harsh reality of RSD. It doesn't just create anxiety within you. Like, it's not like you can just expose yourself to it and then you realise, okay, yeah, everything's fine. Because afterwards, the thoughts that are within my mind are very thinking that I'm being judged, that people don't like me. And it's really like awful to admit, but that is kind of like you know, it's the aftermath of it. It's the tearing everything apart in the situation and thinking, well, why didn't they respond in a positive way to me? What did I do? Or just assuming that this thing you said was wrong, or, you know, all this kind of thing. And that doesn't stop the anxiety. It just spirals it around in a circle. And there just seems to be no way out of that. But what that can do, like I say, is it can really suppress your own self, your own authenticity and your expression, and stifle you. And you know, it's not just that fact there, it can be the system as well. And you can also do it to yourself on some level. So I'm kind of working through that at the moment. I don't know if there's ever going to be a proper way out of that. I think the most important thing is self-kindness, self-compassion, even though that's extremely difficult, and just taking small steps to, you know, allow yourself to be yourself, whether that's through allowing your ADHD to just do what it wants to do, just to say things without having to really think everything through, and make sure that you're saying things in a way that's not going to, you know, cause any conflict and stuff like that. And that's the sort of thing that I'm working on at the moment in my life. And I just wanted to share it because I just thought, you know, I've been quite, like I say, I've been quite anxious to make a video, and I just thought, why not just put myself out there? This is what I need to be doing in order to better my life, to make myself happy on a day-to-day basis, and not feel like I'm just completely going within and hiding myself and isolating myself all the time. So I hope you've taken something from this video. I hope you can relate in some way to my experiences as well. I'd love to hear more about them if you would feel like sharing. You know, I shared with you, maybe you'll feel brave enough to share something in the comments. And yeah, just thank you everybody for sticking around, and I will see you again in another video.